Hey, it's Maddie, and welcome to another day of Bookmas. We are fast approaching the end of the year, and I would like to knock off some of the series I'm in the middle of. I counted them, and I have 26 series that I'm in the middle of, which was honestly a surprise to me because I am someone who loves to binge read series. However, I think through making content, I have ended up starting things and setting them to the side to start a new video or whatever it may be, and then maybe not reading the next book in the series after that video is completed. So I really wanted to have a space to prioritize and knocking some of those off, and especially going into the new year, not taking all 26 of them. Now, will I start a new series? Absolutely. Will I finish all those 26? Absolutely not. We'll probably knock off like 3 or 4 if we're lucky. But either way, that's 3 or 4 less that we will not be taking into the new year. And I'm hoping we can at least knock off 2, if not 3, in this video alone. So let me quickly share the 2 series that I know I'm going to prioritize in this video. The first one being the Caraval series. I have the audiobooks for the last 2 books, and then the Christmas novella just came out called Spectacular, and I want to read that before the holiday season is over. And like I said, I started the year with this series, so I think it would be so perfect to end the year with this series. So I think I'm going to prioritize this one, and this is just such a backlisted series for me. And I've been wanting to read it for so many years that I feel like it would feel so good to finally knock this series off. And I'm honestly really enjoying it. I enjoyed Caraval. I think it was like a 4.5, 4.75. It was really, really fun. I was really magical. I loved being in Caraval and exploring and all the adventures they went on. So I'm excited to continue to see where things go because it did leave off on quite the cliffhanger. And then the other series I definitely want to finish is the Twisted series. I just need to read Twisted Lies. This is just such a fun series, and I want to finish this series before I go into, I don't know what it's called, but the King of Wrath, King of Pride, all of those books. And I don't know if you need to finish this first, but my brain says you have to, so that's what I'm going to be doing. And I did start this series this year, so I think finishing it this year will feel so good. So that's going to be the 2 series I'm really going to focus on for this video. But if we get to other things, and that will feel even better. So we'll just see where the next couple days it takes us. I think I'm only going to be filming this for like 3 days tops because we have so many other Bookmas videos to get to, so I don't want to take it too much time. So we gotta get to reading. So I've made quite a bit of progress in Legendary. I'm actually already on chapter 18. I'm on night 2 of Caraval. Honestly, I was thinking when I was listening to this that this series would just make an incredible movie. I feel like it would be so gorgeous and magical. I really love that we're getting to know Donatella a lot more because I feel like in the first book, she was so mysterious and you didn't really get to know her much because of all the things that were kind of going on, but you really get to see who she is. And I really love that we're getting to know so much more about her. And reading this series while it's snowing and super magical and gorgeous out here is just making it so much more beautiful and enhancing my experience so much. I think that's incredible. And I will continue to listen to it. I'm going to be driving all day. And luckily, I've only ice skated one time. Thankfully, I'm as good as you can be at driving in the snowy, icy weather, but we'll just try to stay as safe as we can and just enjoy this gorgeous book that I'm listening to, that I'm having so much fun. Honestly, I am kind of becoming obsessed with the series. It's making me love Caraval even more as well, which I already thought was super amazing, but I think learning more about the world makes me appreciate that book even more, and I feel like if I do ever reread it, I'm going to love it so much more than I even did the first time, which was already a lot. Like, it was a 4.75, I think, but I might have to bump it up to a 5 because it's making me appreciate it, remember things about it, love certain things about it even more. And it was such a good setup to this world. It didn't feel like a setup either. It still felt like its own beautiful journey and adventure, but this is just continuing on with all the craziness in the best way. So I'm just going to walk around in the snow a little bit and enjoy this gorgeous weather until I absolutely freeze. And then I'm going to book it back into my vehicle and keep on driving and keep on listening to Legendary. So yesterday when I was driving around, I did finish a Legendary, and this was so incredible. For me, this book really stepped up the entire series. And it's not that I don't think Caraval was just as good as this, but I get to know the world so much deeper by the time we get to this book. And I feel like it was so cool that we got to really know Donatella, because in the first book, it was from Scarlet's perspective, and you got to see glimpses of how Scarlet viewed Donatella, and you got to see her in certain scenes, but you didn't really get to know her the way that you do in this story because it's from her perspective. And I think then you also got to get to know Scarlet a little bit better because you got to see her through Donatella's eyes, as well as getting her perspective in the first book, which I thought was so incredible. And I really loved how much deeper we got into this world, how much more we ended up learning about it, and just how magical this one felt. And you did get to see a little bit of Jax from Once Upon a Broken Heart, which I have kept away from knowing anything about that series because I want to finish this one and then jump into that one. So I know nothing. I just recognize the name. And I love that. I love that I've avoided it so heavily because now when I go into that series, it will be a complete surprise. And I have so many questions about what his story is going to be after everything that happened in this book, because I could see it going so many different ways. And the ending of this, I have no words because I have so many questions, so many thoughts, so many feelings about everything. And I am just dying to get to the next book. I am immediately starting it today. That is the first thing on the agenda, honestly, is to start finale because I am so excited to get to this one and see what ends up happening and how this all wraps up. And then I can get to the Christmas novella, which will be so cute and cozy, I feel like, after finishing off this story and getting to see these characters again. And I'm so excited to get to the Once Upon a Broken Heart series as well. It's making me more excited. Like, I was intrigued by it, but now I'm like dying to get to it because I'm loving this one so much. And if people are loving that one even more, we'll just see how I feel. But I am so excited to pick this one up. And hopefully, I can finish this either today or tomorrow because I flew through Legendary because it was so good. You could not pry it away from me. And then before I went to bed, I did read a little bit of Twisted Lies last night. I am now on page 66, and I am really enjoying this one. I feel like it started really abrupt. I don't know how to explain that, and it's not necessarily in a bad way. Because we've been in this world, because we've seen the characters through the other books, it kind of just made sense to just jump right in. But I can't explain what about it felt abrupt. But like I said, it wasn't in a bad way because I was honestly happy to just jump back into this world. I think these books are so fun and I'm already having such a good time. And they're just so addicting. Like, I can't even explain it, but these books are just addicting to me. So I'm super excited to continue reading this. And I'll definitely be picking this one up a little bit later. But for now, this is going to be my focus, especially with how snowy and gloomy and cold it is outside. Reading something like this just feels so magical and perfect. So I ended up finishing finale, and this was so incredible. This series was a mix of like exactly what I expected and would have hoped from it, while also being super unexpected. Jax was in this so much more than I thought he would be because, like I said, I've avoided hearing anything about the Caraval series or the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. All I know is his story is going to continue, and it made me really curious, like leading up to the end of this book, how this was going to play out and how that might impact the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. And now I am dying to dive into that because I feel like it left his story on such a cliffhanger. Like there's so much that I want to know and I'm curious about. And I definitely feel like this series left his story so open to have such an incredible character arc and to have such an incredible story. And I'm very curious like how that series is going to bounce off of this series and how it's all going to connect. I'm just really excited for it. I think it's going to be so much fun. And I'm also really excited to pick up the Christmas novella now because I just want to hang out with the characters again. I think it's going to be super cute and cozy, and I think I'm going to just love hanging out with them. And I'm glad that I kind of binged the last two books in the last couple of days because now jumping into that just feels like an extension of this world that I've just been immersed in for the last few days. And I absolutely love that. I've really just gone fully into that world these last few days and just like being in the snowstorm. I feel like it's made such a stronger connection with the story. I think when and where and the environment around you when you're reading a book can really enhance a series. And I think definitely reading this during the snowstorm and everything just being so cold and gorgeous just made it feel so much more magical. And I truly believe that it enhanced the series for me. And I read Caraval around the same time last year. I think it was more in January. Well, actually, it was the beginning of this year. I read it in January and it was still super, super snowy. In fact, the snow was just getting started. So I feel like this is kind of a full circle moment and it feels so good to knock off this series. I really, like I said, enjoyed it. I knew I was going to like it, but I didn't think I was going to like it this much. And I honestly just adore it. It's one of those series I could definitely just look back fondly at. And I'm curious to see how I'm going to feel about it in a few months and if I'm going to end up rereading it in the future. I don't know. I think the way people talk about it made me think I wasn't going to love it as much as I did. And that is why you truly cannot take other people's opinions in how you're going to feel about a story. And I know that it is a beloved series, but I think that there's also some conflicting feelings. And obviously, that's true for like every book. But I feel like this is one where I really did hear a lot of the back and forth with this series, but I do really think it's a good series. Like, I think it's incredible, and I'm really happy that I read it when I did because it was exactly what I needed. I really needed to escape into this world right now. And speaking of escaping into another world, well, this is set in the modern day, but it's still definitely not my reality. So we're gonna pick up Twisted Lies again and really focus on knocking this one out. I'm on page 108. I was rewatching One Tree Hill. It's actually really funny that the memoir came out recently because I've currently been rewatching the show before I even knew that memoir was coming out. And I'm not a huge memoir person, but best believe I'm going to be picking that memoir up, which is so unlike me. But I think because I'm so immersed in rewatching that show. And what's so crazy is that have you ever watched a show or read a book and so many things are just paralleling your life? I feel like for a few months that show was like straight up just paralleling my life, and I still see little moments or I would hear quotes from it that I needed to hear in my current life. I was like, wow, that hits so hard right now. So that show has been really getting to me in the best way, and I've just been enjoying it so much. So I definitely want to pick up the memoir. Plus I feel like it's going to be such an impactful hard story to read because I think it is important to support other people's stories and the things that they've been through. Yeah, so I'm going to be diving into Twisted Lies some more today. I did read a little bit last night and I was just having such a good time. I'm really excited to finish off this book, and I'm kind of glad it's chunky. I know this is a controversial opinion, but I actually really enjoy chunky romances. I really like to be immersed in it, if they're done well, of course. But I just really love to completely get lost in it, get lost into whatever is going on. And I feel like you get to know the characters like so deeply when it's well done. And then by the time you leave, you're like, what do I do now? Like, really, where do I go from here? Because I have been with these characters for this long, and now I'm just like, and these are just so fun. Like, that's the way that I would pitch this series, is just fun, a good time. There's like a little mystery always going on in each one of these stories. Plus, then I can make it to a King of Wrath and King of Pride. And King of Pride has a Kai in there, and my husband's name is Kai. So we love to read a good Kai story, and I'm so excited to kind of get to that. And yeah. I have to say, I feel pretty accomplished. I ended up finishing two whole series in this video, and both of the series I did start at the beginning of the year, and it feels really good to kind of come full circle and finish them off at the end of the year. And it was also perfect timing because I was able to pick up Spectacular, the holiday novella for the Caraval series, and I thought that was such a good way to end off the year. This had so much of the holiday spirit in it, which I really enjoyed, but it also just had such gorgeous illustrations. I showed you a few of them, but let me see if I can find another one that doesn't give away a spoiler. Like I said, the artwork is absolutely incredible, and I'm so excited to go into the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I am definitely going to be thinking about this world for many months to come. I know I did after I read Caraval. I just could not stop thinking about it here and there because it was just so beautiful and magical and really fun. And I'm so excited to go into the next world and see how much I adore that one. So I'm really glad that I finished off the year with this. And then I also finished the Twisted series. This was such a good escape throughout the year. I feel like these books almost were comforting in a way because I just read them when a lot of things were going on, and it was just such a good way to escape. There's a mystery involved, the romances are really fun, and I just had a really good time with this series. I'm so excited to read the spin-off series too because I've heard people love that even more. And I know the second book has a Kai in it, so I'm very excited to get to that one. I'm honestly excited to just get to all of them. I was really sad that when King of Sloth, I believe, came out this year, I wasn't able to immediately pick it up because I have just been collecting them as they've released, but I haven't been reading them because I knew that my completionist brain could not jump into that series until I finished the Twisted series. So now I can finally jump into that one guilt free and just enjoy it because I feel like I'm going to absolutely love it. And then when King of Envy comes out, I'm hoping I can immediately pick it up. I think that will be so fun. And to be really excited when it releases and jump immediately into it. I think that there's something so special about reading a book right when it releases. It just makes it so much more fun. So I'm very excited for that. So we ended up finishing two series, as I said, and I feel like it's such a great way to end out the year. I may even finish one or two more. We're not done yet, but we're getting very close. So that just feels really great. Let me hold up all the books that I finished in this video. So that's a pretty good stack if I do say so myself. I could have finished a couple other series, but I just really wanted to get the Caraval series out of the way. I could have maybe finished like four series because I did end up finishing like four books. But either way, I'm just really happy. Two series knocked off. I feel super accomplished, and I'm excited to see what other series I end up picking up to replace these because we all know there's going to be more. And I'm also excited to see if I end up finishing any other series this year or starting any at the end of the year because that would be a me move. Either way, I got some things done. So let me know if you've read either of these series and what your thoughts are, spoiler free, of course, down in the comments below. And also let me know, are you anxious for 2024 to be over? Or are you hanging on to the last few days? For me, I'm definitely ready for 2025. 2024 was not my year, but we're going to try our hardest to make 2025 so much better. Anyways, I'll see you for the next day of Bookmas. We only have a few days left, so I hope you enjoy. I don't think I'm going to do a full 12 days anymore just because of my crazy work schedule. I thought I could, and I was really good at pre-filming for a second, and then that quickly fell behind. So we're a little bit more in real time. So we're running out of time. The clock is ticking. So we'll probably get like two or three more episodes out and then just call it good, and we'll see how next year goes. But I'm just happy that I did it anyways because I had so much fun and I hope you enjoyed it as well. So I'll see you for another day soon.